Hi guys, a lot of students have been texting me regarding the recent SEBI regulation on the asset allocation of multi-cap funds. I thought instead of clearing all of their doubts over messages, I would roll out a video explaining the entire thing. Undoubtedly, if we had live classes, we would have discussed this in the early morning, 6:15. It would have been a lot of fun. But nevertheless, I will provide you with all the information that you need. Before we talk about this multi-cap fund regulation, let us understand what exactly are large cap, mid cap and small cap stocks. Now, this classification has been made as per SEBI regulation. This is on the basis of market capitalization, which is the market value of a company, market price per share multiplied by the number of shares. In terms of market capitalization, the top 100 companies are classified as large cap stocks. The top 100 companies, guys, are classified as large cap stocks. The next 150 companies, that is from 101 to 250, are classified as mid cap stocks. All the remaining stocks would come under the category of small cap stocks. This is on the basis of market capitalization. The Association of Mutual Funds of India is supposed to roll out a list of this large cap, mid cap and small cap stocks by taking their market values as on 30th June and 31st December. So you will see that this list is released twice a year. They will have a span of 5 days from the end of that period to release the list. So this is the classification. Now, why do we need this classification? Is that different mutual funds have different investment objectives. Few mutual fund schemes are large cap fund schemes, which means they will invest the money collected from investors only in large cap stocks. If it is a large and mid cap fund, which means the money collected from investors would be invested in both large cap as well as mid cap securities. So this is why a clear-cut definition was required as to what constitutes a large cap stock, what constitutes a mid cap stock, and what constitutes a small cap stock. So this is about the classification of stocks. Now coming to the regulation on multi-cap fund. What exactly is a multi-cap fund? When you say a multi-cap fund as such, guys, we are basically talking about a fund that will invest the amount in large cap stocks, in mid cap stocks, in small cap stocks. We are all aware that large cap stocks are generally less riskier. Small cap stocks might be more riskier because whenever the markets are volatile, you might see a lot of correction coming in the mid cap and the small cap category. Anyways, an investor who's willing to take a reasonable amount of risk, you will generally see instead of large cap fund, he will want to put his money in a multi-cap fund. Now, earlier, as per the SEBI regulations, the only thing that was specified was that you should invest 65% of the total amount in equity or equity related instruments. Ab tumhar ko, whether you want to invest the amount in large cap stocks, whether you want to invest the amount in mid cap stocks or small cap stocks, that will all depend upon the outlook of the mutual fund manager. If he thinks that the markets are too volatile, he might put a large amount of money in large cap stocks. If he thinks that the small cap and the mid cap category is going to perform really well, he will put a lot of money in small and mid cap category, which means it was basically, guys, based on the mutual fund manager who's running the show there. But now the revised regulation says it is mandatory to invest at least 25% of the assets under management in the large cap category, 25% in the mid cap category, 25% in the small cap category. Matlab, you use your brain, but at least this 25% limits have to be satisfied. At least this 25% limits have to be satisfied. Now, what was the need to bring in this regulation? A lot of multi-cap funds, though the name of the schemes are multi-cap funds, there have been a lot of exposure to large cap funds. There are mutual fund schemes, multi-cap fund schemes with almost 80% exposure to large cap funds and hardly 2 or 3% exposure to small cap funds. Now, when you have 80% exposure to large cap funds and only 2 or 3% exposure to small cap funds, in reality, you are a large cap fund and not a multi-cap fund. So to ensure that there is comparability, to ensure that they actually comply with the objective of the scheme, SEBI has made it mandatory that they have proper asset allocation to all the three categories of stock. Hence this regulation has been released. Hence this basically condition has been revised. Now, what would be the impact of this change in regulation? The total assets under management of all the multi-cap funds put together right now are approximately 1,46,500 crores, which means all mutual fund schemes, the assets under management as far as multi-cap funds are concerned is approximately 1,46,500 crore rupees. Now we know that a majority of this amount is in large cap category and not in small and mid cap category. A majority of this amount, guys, is in large cap category, not in small and mid cap category. For example, if you look at Kodak Standard Multicap, it has almost an asset under management of 30,000 crore rupees and 67% exposure to large cap fund, but only 22.5 to mid cap and 1.53% to small cap. Likewise, if you look at HDFC Equity Fund, they have assets under management of approximately 20,000 crores, 83% of exposure to large cap fund, 8.38% to mid cap fund, and 3.93% to small cap fund. Now, undoubtedly, if they have to comply with the revised regulation, they will have to shift money. They will have to shift money from large cap category to small cap category and the mid cap category, which means you will see a lot of buying in the mid cap and the small cap segment. As per the industry estimates, now taking all of these figures into consideration and these percentage into consideration, approximately 25,000 to 27,000 crore rupees would be invested in small cap stocks, and approximately 13,000 to 14,000 crore rupees would be invested in mid cap stocks. You will see total investment of 40,000 crore rupees being shifted from large cap stocks to small and mid cap stocks. Now, when there is so much of buying being seen in small and mid cap stocks, undoubtedly the valuations would increase, the prices would increase. This is the only reason that there is a lot of buzz around it. Everyone has been texting that you should invest the amounts in small cap. There will be a rally in small and mid cap. Remember, this would be purely liquidity driven rally. Guys. So are there any other options available to mutual funds? Now, not exactly, guys. There is always an option of reclassification of scheme, but reclassification of scheme can be done only if you do not have a large cap scheme at present. Like, for example, if you want to convert your multi-cap fund scheme into a large cap fund scheme, you should not have a large cap fund scheme, because you cannot have more than one scheme under a particular category. So reclassification might not be an option to all the mutual fund houses. There is another option of merging different schemes and then forming a new scheme, but we do not know whether the mutual fund schemes will do that or not. Anyways, guys, this is about the latest regulation on multi-cap fund. I hope you all understood it. Thank you.